hilarious way to start a series. Up 3-1 with just under 12 minutes to go in the third. Tyler Bertuzzi and Nick Cousin are having a chirp when Bertuzzi reaches back and yoink, grabs a stick. Of course, Nick gets upset, but Bertuzzi doesn't care. He takes it to the bench and proceeds to break the blade of the stick and tosses it aside. Somewhere an accountant in the Florida organization is trying to figure out how to classify that expense, and I don't know what's funnier, the fact that he just does it or how casually he does it. No regard for Nick. He doesn't even face him as he heads off to the bench, and that is playing the Bruins in the playoffs, either getting your stick stolen or getting licked in the face by a rat, just the way she goes. The rest of the night also went the Bruins' way, as their battle with the flu did not slow them down. Pasternak started things off on the power play by being in the right place at the right time. He's so good at that. 1-0 Bears. Then after Brad squeaks one past Lyon, DeBrusk scores a goal I don't think I've ever seen. Lyon makes the initial save, but it's actually just lying beside his glove on the top of his leg pad. You can knock that in, and the Bruins did, as DeBrusk sees it, dives into the crease, and hits it off the pad and in. It would be reviewed, but the goalie never covered it. That's a good goal. Don't let the shots fool you about how this game was going. Yeah, Florida was getting more shots, but the Bruins got so many high-danger opportunities, and it would end 3-1. Florida put up an okay fight, I guess. We got a nice goal from Tkachuk on a turnover, and some beauty saves from Lyon all night as he stood on his head. Again, high-danger chances, but it just wasn't enough. And that Marchand goal really felt deflating. Do you think Florida has a chance in this series, or should we already get the Bruins out? Let us know down below, or in our playoff bracket, also linked in the description on NHL.com. What's been your game of the night? The first two for me, pretty boring. Edmonton LA has been really fun, and the Dallas game is getting chirpy.
Right now. I mean, 3-3. Sorry.
This was an absolute nightmare game for the Edmonton Oilers. It felt like a continuation of last year's series against the Kings, where they were on paper favorites, but the Kings took them all the way to Game 7. Tonight, we saw the Oilers get 2 goals called back. They blew a 3-1 lead. They gave up a goal with under 20 seconds left, and they lost in overtime. Let's talk about it. Oh, McDavid was also held pointless. Interesting. Anyway, it all started about 3 minutes in when the Oilers got one called back for goaltender interference. I don't know, this one seemed pretty obviously to be the right call. Woodcroft wasn't too pleased. No worries though, Draisaitl would drive the puck up the ice, he would jump on a loose puck after a deflection, and he'd put one home for Edmonton's first goal of the playoffs. By the way, remember how I said McDavid went pointless? That is true, but the man is still an absolute game breaker. So he gets the puck, he decides, I'm going to probably score a goal here, almost breaks all of LA, gets a penalty called. That leads to a 5-on-3. Edmonton's power play is deadly. They go up 2-0 in the first. That's great, but McDavid was like a foot away from probably the goal of the playoffs. Game 1. This is going to be exciting. At the start of the second, McDavid would comp the puck up on a 4-on-4. It would go the other way. LA would make it 2-1. No scoring then until midway through the third, where Draisaitl would pick up a loose puck, send it home, and regain that 2-goal lead. And right now, things are looking great if you're an Oilers fan. You might even put another one in. However, just a few minutes later, Edmonton, on a weird face-off, would actually cough up the puck in their own D-zone, leading directly to an LA goal. Then, 2 minutes left in the game, Bouchard would take a dumb, undisciplined penalty, a cross-check straight to the face. LA would pull their goalie, and I bet you guys have seen this story before. Skinner would get the initial save off a dumb cross-crease pass, but the puck would be sitting there on the blue line, and LA would clean it up for the 3-3 tie with just 16.7 seconds left. That took us to overtime, where Edmonton would actually get a goal. However, it would be called back. Right call there, very clearly a high stick. The test is over the crossbar. They also had a few really good chances, but another penalty would lead to their demise, and this one is a lot more unfortunate. Rather than just being outright bad, the player falls, his stick loose. You've got to control it. You're still responsible, even if you don't intend to trip somebody, which is what happened. LA perfectly executed the tic-tac-toe power play, leading to a goal and a 1-0 series lead. The crowd reacted by throwing trash on the ice, and this is actually the second time they did that, with the first being after the overtime penalty was called. This was a tough one for Edmonton fans. They were fully engaged. They look in control, especially in the first. McDavid's making chances, but he doesn't get on the score sheet. Then they get some bad penalties, leads to a tie game, 2 goals called back, and, 4-3 loss. But that's just my thoughts. Super entertaining game. Let me know yours down below.
Yeah, nice game.
Dallas squared off last night in the battle for green team supremacy, and this was a fun one after two kind of boring early games. Things got chippy quickly, and halfway through game one, tensions rose even higher when Matt Dumba hits Joe Pavelski. Was this late? Well, I guess that's for you to decide, but the NHL Department of Player Safety chose it was a great night for the New York Rangers as they took a big Game 1 win, 5-1, over their biggest rivals, the New Jersey Devils. You guys know me. I'm an open Rangers fan. I'm just a dude with a YouTube channel. I do not try to hide it. But before we begin, if you enjoy football and the NFL, Game 5. Leafs and Lightning. Back in Toronto, with the Leafs having the opportunity to make the second round for the first time in 17 years. Would they seize the opportunity in front of the home crowd? No, they wouldn't. It would be just more sadness and scary thoughts for Leafs fans as the Lightning forced in Game 6. That actually start things off well. Morgan Rielly would score his first of the series past Vasilevsky, but just 26 later, Cirelli answers for the Lightning when he shovels home the rebound after a mess in front. Tie game. Then, 5 minutes into the second, easily the worst the Leafs have given up these playoffs. Justin Hall gives Eyssimont all the time in the world in this one as he cuts back on defense away from the puck. Where are you going, Hall? The puck was in front of you. I saw Frankie Corrado on Sportsnet talking about Justin Hall's play this series, and he's been an issue.
Look at number 12 or whatever number it is. He's going straight towards like the net, kind of towards Samsonov, and
he's been on ice for 73% of the Lightning goals this series.
I think he's trying to go like slide, kind of get the puck, kind of jump in there to stop the puck going in.
Positionally, as we can see on this one, he's leaving a lot to be desired. You give Eyssimont that space, he just walks.
Nope. Did you just see that? I'm gonna slow-mo it a little bit. I think you guys can see.
He's leaving a lot to be desired. You give Eyssimont that space, he
just
walks in and smashes it 5-hole right in front of you. In the third, Tampa jumps to a 3-1 lead.
I feel like he should have gone up front of the net, and he definitely could have.
His first to the series, and his first since February, as Aston Reese tries to play it through his feet.
He could have
right
just skated to the side, but turned his skate, but he really didn't.
The Leafs would only get one back late as Matthews puts in a rebound. But the Lightning would add an empty netter and take this one convincingly. And I mean, this is what happens when Vasi plays like Vasi. He's been a sore spot for the Lightning pretty much all series with a sub .9 save percentage. The Leafs have a strategy. Pucks on net from the point, but they're going to need to do a lot more all over the ice in Game 6. And I've got to call it the Leafs power play too. That power play really stinks at times, and especially in this one. Every time they get one, it seems that Tampa ends up having the better scoring chance, which is probably not ideal. If you're a Leafs fan like I am after this one, you're probably hoping that since they've already taken those two in Tampa, that they can take
I would
another.
like to talk about Austin Matthews. And I want to talk about, there's something like different compared to like Connor McDavid to Connor McDavid's like a full, how do I state this, like fast, like he's like a full out Jaromir Jagr, Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky, young Ovechkin kind of fella. He's like Ovechkin in his early days. But Austin Matthews is different. He's like Mario Lemieux if a chunk of his skill was taken out of him. Well, not skill. I just feel like he doesn't play his best. I don't know.
Worst fears
How
of
to
the Game 7 collapse.
Like a chunk is taken out
of the back of your mind.
Connor McDavid kind of guy, and then put in Austin Matthews.
After that game, phase 1 complete. It might just just happened. There's an absolutely unbelievable stat that I want to end this video with. The Leafs are 0-10 in closeout games in the Matthews-Marner era. That's horrendous. If you had a coin flip every time this happened, there would be less than a 0.1% chance of you not winning a single one of those games. And presumably, you have a better than 50% chance of winning because you're up in the series. Are we getting another Leafs Lightning Game 7, a repeat of last year's Round 1, or will the Leafs remain undefeated on the road? Let us know your thoughts down below. U-Track's built-in knowledge base is, well, it's whatever you want it to be. You can